Hi, this is Linda Bartolucci with InkStampandScrap.com. Welcome to the first week of your 6 weeks of Halloween. This is the card that we're making today, and you can use it to send to friends and family and wish them a happy Halloween. Alright, let's go through the tools and stamps that we're going to need for this cute card. I'm going to use the Happy Halloween from the Spooky Cat stamp set, and I'm also going to use the cat face. Then the other stamp set that I'm going to use is the Labels to Love with the Have a Haunting Halloween stamp. For the Designer Series paper, I use the Lots of Labels framelits to cut out the Designer Series paper. And then this card uses 3 punches. It uses the label punch, classic label punch, to cut out the Happy Halloween that we put on the inside of the card. We're going to use the cat punch to punch out the orange cat and put the little face right there. And then we're also going to use the new label punch to punch out the label that matches. For the consumables we're going to use in this product, or this card, we're going to use the enamel dots. I'm going to use a pumpkin pie circle from the Brights collection. We're going to use the cat punch to punch out from a scrap of pumpkin pie. We're also going to need a couple scraps of vanilla to use to stamp our label image in both black and in pumpkin pie. I've already cut out the Designer Series paper from the label framelits. You'll find this is the Spooky Night Designer Series paper. Then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of pumpkin pie that goes on the inside of the card, and same dimensions, a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic black cardstock that goes on the outside of the card. And our card base itself is 11 by 4 1/4. I scored it at 5 1/2 to make the card base itself. The other consumables we need are our adhesives. We're going to use glue dots as well as dimensionals and fast fuse. And last but certainly not least is this beautiful vintage trim that comes in black, and I'm going to use that for the ribbon, or sorry, for the bow that you see on the card. Alright, so let's put this card together. Now, I want to show you the inside because that's already finished for you. It's pretty basic, and I just want to talk you through it. I forgot to mention in the perishables that we're also using the basic black washi tape set, and I just put a strip of it right here. Then I stamped my Happy Halloween in basic black and punched it out with the label punch and put a little dot here. You could use the small or the large. It just adds a little something. I did like putting the dot here, but it does add a little bit of lift on the inside of the card, and depending on your post office, it's going to get a little bit smushed. So I would recommend when you mail this, you just stick a scrap piece of cardstock in there just to protect it. Alright, so let's do the front of the card. Now, I've already stamped, as I told you we needed, the cat punch with the face, and then we needed a black label as well as a pumpkin pie label. So let's punch this out. Now I used a fairly small scrap, and I can tell you right now as I bring my punch in that if I try to do this, it's just going to be rather a pain to get it to line up. So my tip for you is to have a little post-it note handy. You can certainly have the traditional like 2x2. It can be as big as you want, but you're going to use this as a grabber. Oh, let's hope there's still enough stick on this. Oh, if I use the right side, then it works much better. Okay. So you're going to use this, and now you have like a handle for your scrap, and you can slide it in really easily, line it up, punch, and you're all set. So make sure Post-its are essential to have at your stamping station at all times. Alright, now I have the pumpkin pie one. For the black one, I'm actually just going to use my scissors because I just want to cut out the Trick or Treat, Have a Haunting Halloween, Something Wicked This Day Comes, or This Way Comes. Sorry, don't have my readers on right now. So I'm just going to cut with my paper snips straight along the text. It's kind of easy to do because the text is long enough that it gives you the angle that you want. Now, I didn't cut the top quite tight enough I know that I don't want those little loops to show if I can help it. So what I found, because I actually made a few of these, is that if you cut the top and the bottom and don't worry about total precision, then you can come back and then just take that little slice to get everything out of the way. And you can do that again on the top, just a little slice without cutting the trick or treat. There we go. Yay. Okay, so now we have our trick or treat. Something haunting is coming your way. For attaching that, I'm going to use my dimensionals. Just have to grab them here. There we go. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of the black, or the vanilla cardstock, but I stamped it in black. I have to tell you, I finally got smart and put a real trash can next to my filming station, and it's working great because now I don't have a bunch of scraps to clean up after I film a video for you all. Just a little side note. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of my cat as well. He or she, depending on what you consider an orange cat with a black face, needs 3 to stand up. I'm not going to peel them off quite yet because I want to get the card set up. I'm going to use Fast Fuse to center this. I want to make sure, since I did the middle already, that I have the card the right way. So I'm going to take my Fast Fuse and I'm going to put it on the back of this. All right, and we're going to go right for the center. And then we're going to layer this on the black. I think I forgot to mention that I did use the lots of labels twice. I used the smallest one for the black and then a larger one for the designer series paper. So we're going to just use Fast Fuse for that. We already have dimensionals for, oops, a little goober there, dimensionals for the cat and the black portion of the greeting. The cat's going to layer above, so it's going to start getting to be too puffy if I keep putting lots of dimensionals. So I'm kind of trying to use those sparingly. So there we go, and we're going to put this right in the center. Right there. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my cat. I want her to be in the, oh, I guess I have decided she's female. I want her to be in the lower right corner, but I don't want her tail or foot to hang off and cover too much. So I'm going to tuck her right there. I'm okay with her tail going over the tag a little bit, but I just don't want her to intrude too much. So she sits there just so pristine and lovely. And then the last thing I'm going to do is take a bow that I've already made from the lovely vintage ribbon that, or I think they call it trim in the holiday catalog, the vintage trim. I've seen this trim used on a few cards where, actually, I'm going to do the bow, and then I'll pull the spool in, because the tip I'm going to tell you is kind of hard to understand when you're looking at a completed bow. All right, so there's the bow on there. So there's our completed card. Now, what I want to tell you about the vintage trim is that it's, let's see, I want to make sure I'm going to move that out of the way. I want to make sure you can really see this. Straighten it out. See how there's a lovely, there's a solid piece at the top right here, and then there's the ruffled, the trim part of it. I've seen people just have the trim, these ruffles at the bottom here, sticking out of a card, and it really looks lovely. So you can do that as the trim underneath a layer on your card. So here's your completed card. Here was the original card, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make this. Here, I'll actually put this, I'll show you the inside on this one. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make this. This is the first installment of your 6 weeks of Halloween. Come back next Friday to see another. This is Linda from InkStampandScrap.com. Please give me a thumbs up underneath the video if you're watching on YouTube, and be sure to like my channel so that you don't miss out on more episodes. If you're watching on my blog, I love comments. Let me know what you think about not only the card, but what else you'd like to see in the series. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel.